So if Derpy was in the real world, what would EquesTron do with her? There's way too many questions to answer. You care about Derpy. Are you okay, man? I love how much you care about Derpy. You really like Derpy a lot, don't you? By the way, her name is Muffins now. EquesTron, for the last time, why do you love Derpy so much? 2, why do you give 100 points when Derpy talks? Do you love Derpy? Yeah. Okay, it's not the end of the video. If it was, you'd be sitting in the dark for the remaining minutes, and I don't think you'd want that. So I noticed that some of you have been wondering what my stance is on Derpy Hooves, also known as Ditzy, also known as Muffins. Each name is equally cute, but I'm sticking with Derpy. Not as an insult to her, I assure you, but out of habit. Anyone who watches my videos would notice that I show favor to both Applejack and Queen Chrysalis, but I show a special attention to Derpy, and I'm sure some of you are wondering why. So that brings me to the basis of this video. I'll be honest with you, Derpy is a character I initially didn't think much of, only in that, oh hey look, it's a crooked-eyed pony kind of manner. But that changed when she talked in the last roundup and a subsequent controversy, which I began to take notice. Not because of the legions of soccer mom thinking that she was making fun of the mentally disabled, but because of this fan video. I don't know if it was supposed to be satire, but honestly, the sincerity in her voice made me genuinely upset, and from then on, whenever I saw her on the show, I had a smile on my face every time. So when she was finally allowed to speak in season 5, I jumped for joy, as you can see in my Everything Right Wrong video. So what's the purpose of this video? Well, it's not just meant for you to listen to my ramblings, but to provide context, and moreover, justice for Derpy. So what do I love about Derpy, other than the fact that she's adorable? Well, it's that the writers, whether intentionally or not, have crafted a story for her that isn't explicitly spelled out, but with enough to go on to piece together what her life is like. She's nice, she's naive, she's ditzy, but she's also quite accomplished for a pony such as her. She's kept her job as a male pony for all 7 seasons, even when she makes a klutzy move every once in a while, which could mean that these moments are rare for her and isn't reprimanded all that much. I'm also gonna take a wild guess that A Question in Medicine is the best ever, since Twilight never received long-lasting trauma. Since she's always everywhere, this could suggest that she functions like every other pony out there. She's into fashion, likes to have fun at parties, and is willing to participate in events while being acutely aware that her skills aren't very good, as seen here in Rainbow Falls when she concedes the fact that she and her team aren't exactly the best. So what am I getting at here? Where is all this leading? Well, I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you the single most controversial thing I could ever say about Derpy Hooves. Are you ready for this? Derpy isn't dumb. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, she is! There's a lot to be said about here. In fact, I said it a couple paragraphs ago. She's ditzy, she's clumsy, she's naive, but she never struck me as dumb. When looking through her behavior in the show, the comics, the spin-offs, and the movie, you can point out areas where she does something silly, but I'll never call her straight up stupid. I think in later seasons of the show, the writers and animators have made the effort to showcase her backstory in such a way that leads me to my second most controversial point. Derpy is the most sympathetic character on the show. To illustrate this, let's look back on her appearances in season 6 and 7, as it presents the greatest evidence that there's more to her than what was initially shown in prior seasons. In The Cart Before the Pony, she's seen as a filly winning first place for most creative cart. This shows that she is artistic, and her mere enthusiasm may have been a factor as well. Now let's go to where the apple lies, where Derpy, possibly as a teenager, is seen wearing a bandage over her eyes. This could mean a few things, but this could be an implication that at one point she attempted to get surgery to fix her condition, but it didn't work. Going forward to season 7, here's a montage of Derpy as a filly in parental guidance. Notice how in the very first shot she won Best Flyer, beating out future Wonderbolt Captain Spitfire and Rainbow Dash. Not just that, but her eyes are normal. Then as the sequence goes on and on, her eyes become worse and worse, and she ends up lowering the placement, but never in dead last. Now this can all just be fan service, I'll give you that, but I feel like the MLP staff are trying to tell us something. Taking all this into account, I think we have a pretty good backstory here. Picture this. At some point, Derpy was a flying prodigy, but her skills got worse and worse the more her condition began to hamper her abilities. To pass the time, she took her hoof at cart making, which she won for, but after a while she decided to get her eyes fixed, perhaps to try and achieve a past dream of being a Wonderbolt. The operation didn't work, and she has become relegated to being a male mare, as this might be the only career she can have that will still allow her to fly. That's pretty friggin' tragic if you ask me. Here we have a talented filly whose condition snatched her away from her true dreams, and in the process made her the mare that she is today. But what is it that makes her so dang lovable? To me, it's her attitude. She's always happy, she's always smiling. The rare times we see her without a smile is during comedic scenes like when she gets her muffin brutally murdered by Dragon Lord Ember, or being shocked at things like Rainbow Dash not being injured. Her attitude has been consistently positive, showing that she's able to go through life with a smile on her face, and not letting her appearance get her down. With all that said, let's consider her appearance in the movie, where she tries to help the Wonderbolts during the musical number, but comedically fumbles. What if she was allowed to help out as an act of charity and sympathy from the Wonderbolts due to her past dream? After all, looking at the placement of the bolts, it feels obvious that Derpy was part of the act, or else that one member would look like a crazy pony. However, this is all leading up to my most rambling nonsense yet, and I'm not sure you're prepared for it. The debate on whether Derpy was trying to save Twilight when Tempest Shadow attacked. To illustrate this, let's play the clip.
Oh, you totally got the last princess.
First, let's get my opening night reaction out of the way.
Hell no!
As you can see, Rainbow Dash swooped in and saved Twilight at the last second, and Derpy was the one to get petrified. However, the debate is if Derpy intentionally got in the way, or if she was running around the confusion and happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. This is where the true intention of my video comes into play. To me, Derpy meant to perform a possible self-sacrifice, or at the very least hoping to push Twilight away from the orb. If you look closely at the clip, Derpy's left eye is looking right at Twilight. We know from previous episodes that when one of Derpy's eyes looks straight ahead, she can see fine. If her vision was so bad, how could she even have a job as a mail mare to begin with? Most importantly, let's look at the evidence prior to serve this theory even more. When we first see Derpy, she's making an adorable attempt to cosplay as Twilight. This may show that she idolizes Twilight and what she stands for, and also supports her desire that maybe one day she could be a princess, as seen in this quick dream sequence from a prior episode. Now the attack happens. 3 of the princesses are frozen, and Twilight, the princess of friendship, the pony that Derpy idolizes the most, is the last one to be frozen. She doesn't know Rainbow Dash is on her way to save her, all she sees is Twilight being distracted and Tempest Shadow is about to achieve her goal. So what's more likely here? Is Derpy just stupid and blindly ran through 2 storm guards and was inches away from bumping into Twilight, or did she bravely sacrifice herself so that the one she idolizes the most is able to survive and save Equestria? From what I've seen, I prefer the latter. In the end, what does this all mean? Does the MLP staff have a master plan for Derpy? Does anything I just said hold any truth, or am I just reaching? Even if there is no real payoff for her character, I have my utmost respect for the staff for giving her a chance in the limelight. She could have easily been just a background pony with no potential depth, but they turned her into something special. Some pony worthy of recognition and even admiration. Some pony sweet and kind and funny and adorable. Okay, screw it. Derpy's my waifu. The end!